And to shed more light on the importance of scientific research in the coming period, we are joined over the phone by Dr. Salah Obayya, head of the Department of Electronics Engineering, Mansoura University. Good afternoon, doctor.
Good afternoon. Just a small correction. I'm Director of Center of Photonics and Smart Materials at Zuweil City of Science and Technology, and former President of Zuweil City.
Yes, former President of Zuweil City, Dr. Salah Obayya. As I've just mentioned, that the President Fattah al-Sisi is paying special attention to scientific research in Egypt since he assumed office. So how do you see Egypt's national strategy? To what extent it is reinforcing scientific research?
Yes, pretty much this is actually the case. In the last few years, actually, Egypt has witnessed significant change in its position among the countries and states, not only in the region we are living in, but also globally. To give some numbers, we are now in the 30-some position among the international community for scientific publications in terms of peer-reviewed journal publications published annually in all fields of science and technology. We jumped 10 to 15 places. We are now in the 90 position among the countries globally for the innovation index, which is directly related to how many patents and IPs have been registered and filed every year. And this actually touches upon a very important dimension on how the scientific research can not only contribute new knowledge, but how this new knowledge can contribute to shaping the future of Egypt and the globe in general, economy and other aspects of our life.
Yes. So, sir, as you have just said that you are the former head of Zuweil City, to what extent this important institution is supporting scientific research in Egypt?
In general, universities are or can be categorized to three categories. One of them is teaching-led university. This is the first and second sort of generation of universities. The trend in 1940s, 50s, and 60s of the 20th century, with the ICT revolution and developments happening in computer and information technology, 80s and 90s have witnessed the rise of another generation of university, which is the second generation, or called research-led university. Nowadays, and I believe in the future, this is the case, we will have another generation of universities, which is called smart or fourth generation universities. In this kind of universities, we are not only educating students, what is there already in the labs and textbooks, but we prepare their mindsets with new sets of skills, knowledge, training, the way actually we teach them, all of these, and the environment of teaching and learning and research, all of this is in place to equip our students with unprecedented positions in the future to tackle them with innovative solutions. So the key word here and the magic word is innovation. How we bring in the innovation into the minds and the practice of our students to face new situations and new challenges and new problems in the future with some unprecedented and new solutions.
So, sir, a number of initiatives have been introduced to back researchers in Egypt. Can you tell us more about these initiatives?
One of them is, of course, National Egypt Project of Knowledge Renaissance, which is Zuweil City. I think the state has looked after this project and financially and administratively has supported Zuweil City to a great extent. We are now seeing a new 4 to 5 national universities, which I call them smart universities, because they bring up, as I said in my previous point, they bring up quite actively the element of innovation into the education, learning, teaching, and research. And these are Galala, King Salman, new Mansoura University and new International Alamein University.
Yes.
And I think there is a plan to open up and start another 12 to 13 universities of this kind in the next 1 or 2 years.
Yes.
This is from establishing new universities. But if you look at the other side of the picture, which is the legal framework within which you are working as researchers, there is a very important bill that has been issued by Mr. President in the last 2 years, which is related to the incentives bill or the incentives, research incentives bill.
Yes.
And through this bill, actually, we are now able, for the first time in Egypt history, able as researchers and professors to bring up or to transfer the research and technology we are producing into our labs into the market through forming and establishing research-led companies. And from your platform, I invite all Egyptian universities to carefully look at this bill, this very important and top priority bill, and to start to build up what we call it technology valleys. And in these technology valleys, we can bring up industries and the different stakeholders from the market side by side by researchers and professors to be under the same roof and produce something of quite significance to the Egyptian community and bring up some solutions to water, energy, environment, medical problem, health problems. In addition to this, we can actually produce our own knowledge, our own IP, that not only benefit our Egyptian society, but can enable us to transfer this to the globe for money.
Yes.
So here we can solve the difficult and ever unsolved equation, which is how we can invest in knowledge and produce something of significance to the economy.
So, sir, do you think that scientific research now is more attractive to Egyptian youths and Egyptian students, and they are more keen to study science nowadays than before?
Yes, yes, I can tell this from the numbers admitting to our educational and research programs, not only at Zuweil City. As I said, this kind of smart universities, we have some examples. Egypt-Japan University of Science and Technology, Nile University, again, the four universities, the four national universities, Jalala, King Salman, New Mansoura, and Alamein. Actually, we are witnessing nowadays more and more of students applying to new technological engineering and scientific research and academic programs. They are full of enthusiasm. They are quite keen and interested to learn, not only to shape and improve their future careers, but also to work for their own countries and to work for the benefit of the globe and the humanity in general. This is a very good trend nowadays among our youngsters and among our kids. And I believe we as professors and researchers, we should take this opportunity to work more and more to get them more engaged into our work. At Zuweil City, for example, actually, we don't put any barriers between the classrooms and labs. So you can actually see students coming out from a lecture in the classroom and come to my side in the lab to do an experiment and write with me a research article. So through this, actually, we are learning, we are teaching our students very important lesson, that knowledge is continuous. There is no point at which you can stop learning. You learn every day new things. And the more and more you learn, the more opportunity you'll have to benefit not only yourself, but also the globe in terms of new knowledge that you contribute to the field you are interested to work in.
And do you think the government is allocating more budget to scientific research in the coming period, as it is an important and integral part to the country's development and Egypt's Vision 2030?
Yes, of course, Egypt 2030 vision, which is actually part of the United Nations, SDGs, and so on. actually number of things. One of them is allocating more budget to the scientific research, but between brackets here, actually, let me add something, please.
Yes.
That we need to have a closer look on the way we are not planning the budget, but we are spending the budget. I would like to optimize our already limited resources to have the maximum output coming out from these resources. And the output I mean here is how to develop new brains, how to train new generations, not just to bring new equipment and build new and spend in constructions and so on. More importantly is to build new brains and train new generations. This is one thing. Another thing actually, which is already, I'm not saying we are missing it completely, but we need to work more actively into this dimension. As I said previously, we need to work on the technology transfer. I think the government and the society in general, already with the limited resources and limited budget, they are spending generously on scientific research. So we as researchers, government, universities, academic institutions, NGOs, we need to think all together on how the society at large can benefit from our scientific research and how our scientific research can be translated and transformed into new IPs and products that can be witnessed and materialized in the Egyptian market before the global market.
Yes, finally, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Salah Obayya,
most welcome.
Former head of Zuwail City. Thank you, sir, for being with us today. And by that, dear viewers, we come to the end of today's edition of Cairo Local Time. Thank you for watching.